Welcome back to Bold of You to Say. We're back with another episode. In this one, we talked a bit about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale, talked about the Chauvin verdict, and just the fallout from that. Then we talked about this week's movie pick of the week, Big Trouble in Little China. Talked about our favorite moments from that. Timestamps are listed out down below in the description, so you can skip to whatever topic you'd like. If you want to skip all the politics, if you want to skip right to the movie discussion, or if you want to skip right to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier stuff, a download is a download. We don't mind. But yeah, follow us on social media. That's going to be all linked down below. Follow us on Twitter. Follow me on TikTok. Follow friend Jared on Steam and or Xbox.
Probably both of them.
Yeah, both. You don't have to choose one or the other.
I'm not saying I'm desperate, but...
Yeah, subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. Buy our merch. Get yourself a Muscle Rock t-shirt and or button and or fridge magnet. And let's just jump right into it. The Chauvin trial, for the past few weeks, has been really revealing. There are certain things that happen that just reveal who someone is.
Yeah. I feel like murdering someone reveals who you are.
But what I mean is, like with COVID happened, and then suddenly who, anyone that's oh, I don't know about, the vaccine, or, I don't want to wear a mask, who to avoid, It reveals a lot about people. People that wouldn't be doing public freakouts, or Karens with dormant Karens that wouldn't normally be freaking out are now freaking out about masks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
getting ridiculous.
It's the same thing with the Chauvin verdict, where if you're upset about Derek Chauvin being convicted in the murder of George Floyd, I know now to avoid you.
Yeah.
Cause so many conservatives now are self-reporting. There's so many self-reports happening where if someone is upset about the verdict, oh, you're just upset that police can't carry out extrajudicial executions.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen the clips of it, but Ben Shapiro, he's been going on and on about how oh, they're just not looking at the facts. I don't think, let's just say hypothetically the jury is not looking at the facts in this case.
Nice.
That Ben Shapiro, I even saw a clip of him after it happened, after George Floyd was murdered, he was oh, this guy should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Well, what the fuck happened to that? What happened to that, Ben Shapiro?
They didn't get the verdict he wanted, or his audience wanted.
It's so obvious that he's just pandering. Because Ben Shapiro, when you first see him, or when you look at just an isolated clip, you think, oh, this is a guy that at least believes what he's saying. But then, I personally don't watch the whole show that he does because I value my sanity. But I've seen clips of him doing ad reads as part of his the full show that he does, and I don't know, it's not he doesn't read ads in a weird way, but the fact that it's him doing it, watching Ben Shapiro do an ad read, just feels so unnatural.
Yeah,
it's like if Hitler was uns we must cleanse the German fucking society shit. By the way, this speech is brought to you by Hello Tushy.
Hello Tushy.
If you want to have the a pure website, use today's sponsor Squarespace.
I want to see Hitler as a Twitch streamer now.
Oh God! Thank you for the gold. I don't know. That's a Reddit thing, isn't it?
I think, yeah. Twitch is more subs and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thanks for the sub. Guess the Jews $20.99 or whatever. I don't know. What's a fucking good Nazi name?
I don't know, but it should start with the late.
With the late?
Yeah.
I'm lost on that one. I don't get.
Okay,
the
so
late.
you know how like when someone dies, it's like, oh, the late Chadwick Boseman.
Okay, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah, you get it. You get it now.
Yeah, I get it. We're gonna kill them.
No, I just think Nazis should okay, I'm gonna say Nazis should die out, but I'm not saying they should be killed. All right, I'm saying Nazi shit, that should be what your great grandparents believe. There should be no Nazis under the age of 75.
I don't understand why there's even Nazis. It's come on, man, you've lost the war.
Yeah, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Yeah.
I don't know. The fact that there are young Nazis it feels like lazy
weird.
writing. It's really you're bringing back the villain from the old movie.
It's they couldn't come up with something, so they just went to the back catalog.
Yeah, it's like having a story with the Red Skull set in the 70s. It's what are you doing?
It's why is he back? Yeah, no, it's stupid. People are stupid. You're all stupid.
Yeah. What about the whole Chauvin thing? I don't understand why people are upset. Like back to the whole Ben Shapiro thing. He acts like there's a set of facts that he keeps saying the jury isn't looking at the facts. Bro, what facts? We all saw the recording. We all saw the video of what happened. All that they really need to deliberate is if there was a motive or if it was intentional.
Yeah.
They're trying to decide between second and third degree murder. That's what the trial is about. It's not about whether he did it. We know what happened. But he acts like there's this vault of ancient information lost to the sands of time.
It's the Disney vault. It's in the vault. You gotta open it. Look, there it is. Right next to Mickey Mouse's old fucking cartoon.
No, we need to keep showing. Okay, you know what? The Joker. The Joker keeps getting put in Arkham Asylum, and he keeps escaping. We just need to put Joker's ass in the Disney vault. He's not getting out of there for another 11 years. Can you imagine
that episode of that comic? Joker's ha! I'll just escape again, Batman, you fool. Batman's nah, this is different now, Joker. I'm taking you to the one place you can't escape from. He just gets dragged into the vault screaming. He's clutching at the ground no!
God.
Sealed away forever.
But another thing that I don't understand about people upset about the Chauvin verdict, they're the same people that always say oh, well, if you don't break the law, then you shouldn't have anything to worry about. If you're not doing anything wrong, then you shouldn't have a problem with the police, stopping you and asking for your papers, or you shouldn't have a problem with fucking surveillance or whatever. If you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't have to worry about it. Those same people are now freaking out now that cops will face consequences if they kill innocent people. It's well, if you're not killing innocent people, then you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah. There's a simple solution here. Just don't shoot an innocent civilian.
Yeah.
Just, do what you say you're gonna do.
Oopsie poopsie, that was my gun, not a taser.
That whole thing, that's such a stupid excuse. It would have worked if the taser
How
things
far
that they
away
do now,
are you, Jared?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you across the room?
I forgot I moved my room around. My mic is not where it used to be. I'm trying to fix my light right now. It's busted. I don't know what happened to it. It just went out. But, yeah, no, it's that excuse would have worked, prior to, the first time this happened, and they had all these different, safeguards.
See, I don't know about that.
That's the thing.
If a gun and a taser were, comparable at all, I could see it. If it was,
yeah, they used to be. A taser used to be a black gun that was on the same side as your normal gun. Then they changed it to this yellow shit that's on the left side. And how do you forget that? It weighs 2 pounds and it's on the left side of your body away from all of your other shit.
Well, yeah, it's not being able to tell the difference between a super soaker and a rocket launcher.
Yes, I mean, I still get confused. Little Timmy's birthday party was never the same after that day.
No, it's you have to push 4 on the keyboard, not 3. You have your weapon equipped to the wrong hotkey.
I guess. It's amazing how court cases from like 5 years ago keep coming back today.
What do you mean 5 years ago?
Like a lot. Well, it's not 5 years ago. It's more than that. But like the same shit happened where it's like I thought it was my taser.
Oh, so this is a thing that's happened multiple times because I only know about the one that just happened.
Yeah, no, this has happened multiple times. Before, like, it was more understandable because they didn't have all these rules on how to, like, position your gear on your belt and stuff. It's like, yeah, that seems like a reasonable excuse. And then now it's like, okay, you just shot him. Like, there's no way around this. How do you fuck up that bad? Like, this is someone who's training police officers and they just execute someone on the street because they thought it was their taser. A thing that looks nothing like, feels nothing like, and is on the opposite side of the body.
Yeah.
Like, God. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they just aren't trained well.
You know what? Speaking of, like, police brutality and stuff, and just the whole thing, like, oh, we investigated ourselves and we found ourselves innocent, like internal investigations like that, like police just being able to like blatantly commit crimes.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of that is why I believe that it's just another reason that Marvel is pure fantasy, because John Walker actually faced consequences for his actions.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what, you commit one beheading in public, and suddenly you get fired? No, he did basically get a slap on the wrist, but like he got his title revoked and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like, I don't know if that would happen.
In real life.
There would just be an internal investigation. Like, okay, the Department of Captain America has investigated Captain America and found that Captain America did nothing wrong.
I mean, basically.
I don't know. Maybe because he's like a public figure, I guess it makes sense that he would get his title stripped. I mean, he did also get to become U.S. agent.
Yeah, but that's something separate. That wasn't the normal government.
Right.
Like, that's the character that gave it to him, Valerie Fontaine. She's basically like the Walker from Suicide Squad. You know, the black chick. It's like, what is it, Amanda Walker? Yeah, Amanda
Waller.
Waller, yeah, that's right. So basically, she's part of S.H.I.E.L.'s bunch of whole shit with S.H.I.E.L.D., and she's basically in charge of a lot of their more, like, covert shit.
Is she with S.H.I.E.L.D.? Because
yeah,
my understanding and from what I've heard, she's her character has also been Madam Hydra.
Yeah, she's with S.H.I.E.L.D., but she's kind of like,
oh, she's like a double agent.
Kinda, because she's also with S.H.I.E.L.D. still. Like, Nick Fury recruits her even after she turns to Hydra and stuff. So it's she's a weird character. I don't know her exact like alignment on the chart thing. But yeah, no, so she's like not with the government, but is with the government, but not really, but yeah, but kind of thing.
Yeah, I imagine it's gonna be like a Blackwater type situation where it's like a private entity, but like they do work with the government.
Yeah, that's probably
it's
the
like,
best
oh,
way to
we're pulling
it.
our troops out of Afghanistan, but don't look this way. We're sending in the special ops, private military, special forces people.
Yeah. Nah, but she's with S.H.I.E.L.D. though, as far as I know. It looks like she is.
Yeah, I'm really curious though, like to what extent S.H.I.E.L.D. still exists. By the way, let's just get into the we're officially transitioned out of News Minute. This is Captain America and the White Wolf, because he shouldn't be called the Winter Soldier anymore, but that's a different argument. Finale reaction segment.
I liked it. I really liked it. Like, I knew that a lot of the things they were gonna do from the get-go, like the whole Walker coming back and not being a complete dickhead. But
yeah,
like that one, like that was like, yeah, they're gonna do that. It's like, this is the...
Yeah, well, before we
I've
get into
called it.
specifics, overall, how do you feel about the finale?
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good way to wrap things up and end it. Wasn't too
Yeah,
bad. I think
yeah. As
people
far
are
as like
being
wrapping
fucking...
stuff up, I thought it did a pretty good job with like, getting people to where, like, getting like Sam to where he's supposed to end up, like getting him to the point where he's ready to be Captain America, and getting Bucky to like a peaceful, like healthy state.
I do
It
love
did a good job of that, but I did feel like, I don't know, like it felt like there was supposed to be more show leading up to it. But overall, I would say the finale was really enjoyable.
I hear a lot of
but
people,
ultimately
like...
kind of disappointing. Like, I enjoyed it; it was a good time, but I just felt like it was missing a lot, and I felt like there was some stuff that shouldn't have happened.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I wanna hear your thing.
Okay, so, well, first of all, I'll say one thing that I absolutely love. I love the new suit. The new suit that Sam got.
It looks great.
As far as
a
like
picture I'm gonna send you though, and you're gonna hate it.
Oh God.
I want you
All
to
right,
use this.
before I look at it and before my perception is ruined, I just want to say, as far as like an adaptation of like comic book to screen, it's one of the best suits, one of the best adaptations, and also one of the best suits that I have seen up to this point.
Yeah, it looks great. Like,
oh God. Okay, I'm looking at what you sent. Look, Jared. A lot of people. Okay, so what I'm looking at is a tweet from @Danny8bit, and it's a picture of Sam Wilson's Captain America in a sort of profile position, and
in the same pose as that weird muscle cap.
Yeah, if you know about comics, you probably know about, I forget the guy's name, but he draws people really weird, and it's it's a famous illustration of Captain America where his chest bulges out like a solid like foot and a half.
I don't know how that guy did that. Like, why is this? Imagine Captain America, but he's built like a fucking fridge.
God. But anyway, yeah, the suit,
life imitates art.
No, that suit is an incredible adaptation. It looks very faithful to the source material. It was amazing seeing Sam running around being Captain America. It was really satisfying when it's like, oh, who are you? I'm Captain America. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah,
that was incredible. That was very satisfying after 6 episodes of seeing like John Walker running around like, I'm Captain America. Do you know who the fuck I am? Sam Wilson's just like, man, I'm Captain America. Fucking deal with it. I'm gonna save the day and shit, and I'm not gonna decapitate people.
Imagine if that's the first thing he went and did.
Oh God.
He just goes up to someone, just cuts their head off. Yeah, new cap. Let's go. Edgy. Oh.
No, that you know what? That kind of bothered me when I think it was episode 4, whichever one. I think it was the start of episode 5 when it was Sam and Bucky versus John Walker. And he's like freaking out like, oh God, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to either decapitate that guy or like use the shield to like smash his chest in. Yeah, whatever he did to the guy. If you want to say it's decapitation, if you want to say it's not decapitation, whatever.
Oh, it's decapitation.
Well, it's ambiguous what exactly he did. Like, we assume that he decapitated the guy, but I mean, that's neither here nor there. It's not really important for what I'm trying to say, but after he did that move, he's like, oh, fuck, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, God, what have I got myself into? He still tries to repeat that move on Sam and Bucky.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, you really did not learn, did you?
I blame the serum. Like Zemo says, that shit is evil.
Yeah. But anyway, more stuff that I liked about the finale before I get into criticisms. It's it's amazing that we finally get like a happy ending.
Oh yeah.
Because like WandaVision, where it's like, like move on, Wanda, I'm gone, and fucking like, but no, this one ends on a very high note, and it's just a nice boat side barbecue cookout. Bucky just getting to live his best life,
Hell
and
yeah.
for once not being like on the run or like haunted by old memories.
Yeah.
It's just you love to see it.
It's that good shit.
It's that good shit.
Also, I love the part where Captain America just verbally bitch slaps a bunch of senators.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
that was pretty good.
That's Cap. That's the Cap from the comics. Fucking, he would definitely do that. Just like, this isn't right. Fuck you. I'm gonna be nomad now.
That was a really good moment. I just wish, because like I saw a TikTok that was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we got like as sort of like a callback, if we got Bucky being like, oh, did you have that written out, or was that off the top of your head? Which is what Sam says to Steve in The Winter Soldier. And or if Bucky was like, hey, let's hear it for Captain America, because that's what he says in the first Avenger.
Yeah.
Just something like that.
I like how
would have been
Bucky
cool, but it's not a deal
reserved.
breaker.
You see, I like Bucky's response to it because it fits with his relationship with Sam.
It
like
does.
them being like friends, but also like assholes to each other.
Yeah, that's why I say it's not like a deal breaker, because it's not like, like it doesn't take away from it that it didn't happen.
Yeah,
it just would have been a cute like fan servicey moment.
Yeah, which I get. Fan service is a thing.
But yeah, going into like criticisms though for the finale, I felt like I mentioned earlier, I felt like there should have been more leading up to it. Because like the first few episodes, it's fairly it's paced fairly slowly. Like it's a sort of like a more slow burn kind of thing. Like we get more character moments and scenes with people just talking. We get a lot of like fleshing out of the narrative and stuff. It's generally, I don't want to say drawn out, because I feel like that's like a negative way of saying it, but it is like, well, it's like spaced out, but then once we get to like episode 5, everything just happens so quickly, and it feels like we're rushing to the finale, when it feels like there should be an extra episode of build up. I don't know what would fill that time, but it did feel like rushed towards the end.
Well, I'm gonna say, like, I'm a little disappointed with Carly's whole like villain arc thing, because
that's another thing that I didn't like.
Like, she just kind of just flips a switch and it's like, we're terrorists now.
Yeah,
like, that's boring. That's lazy.
Well, she also makes it harder to make the case that the Flag Smashers weren't terrorists.
Yeah.
Because I do, like, I believe Sam, and I agree with him when he's like, hey, you got to stop using labels like terrorist and like thug to sort of like dodge questions of, resource management. Because like the Flag Smashers, when it comes to like the disparity,
like their idea
and who
who
gets what. Yeah, like the Flag Smashers, like what they're fighting for is correct. But it just, like, I mentioned it in the last episode, but it, like, the Flag Smashers as villains feel very poorly written, and it feels like the writers went out of their way to make them like black and white villains.
Yeah, especially near the end.
And I called it when I said that it was going to be a really centrist-y ending. Like the ending, like Sam's speech and everything, like it's great, I love it, but it does kind of reek of centrism. Where, well, not the speech itself, but just like overall how the show ended. Where it's like, oh, we just, we gotta, you guys that control everything, like you get to still control everything, but just, at least think a little bit about how it'll affect people.
Yeah.
Like it just feels very like incrementalism-y.
I mean, like, how else are they gonna end it? They're gonna have Captain America execute a bunch of senators.
No, not execute senators, but like I don't know, like
Like, there's no real way to
well,
end
it just
that kind
feels
of thing.
very. It feels very like within the system.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And it's like I guess that doesn't bother me too much, but it is worth acknowledging, at least. It's worth acknowledging that it's like Captain America fights for progress within the already pre-established systems and institutions,
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, maybe we need a different way of managing like who gets what, instead of saying like maybe we need to rethink like who gets to redistribute resources. It's like, well, these people are going to be distributing resources, like there's no questioning that, but we just, we got to nudge them in the right direction of like maybe being more equitable.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what that word means, Chief. I'm kind of
Like
dumb.
fair.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
man, like they got to, use their power that they have unquestionably a bit more fairly.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, though. Marvel's stuff is like what is it? Idealistic fantasy or whatever.
Yeah, well, it is also like very corporate, and it is, it's it's always gonna be military propaganda to some degree, because even if Marvel isn't working with the military directly on one of their projects, they still do want to be able to work with them in the future.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, even if, like, let's just say they don't work with the military in Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever, like, or say like Spider-Man. They don't work with the military for a Spider-Man movie. And in the Spider-Man movie, they're like, fuck the military. We need to, burn down the system, rebuild it from the ground up. Do you think they're going to be able to get that contract for the next Captain America movie, or for the next Iron Man movie, or for the next Captain Marvel?
Yeah, but also, what the fuck kind of Spider-Man are you watching? When does he say that?
Based Spider-Man.
Based Spider-Man. That's
I'm just using Spider-Man as an example. I just mean like some character that's not as connected to the military, so you don't need
yeah.
access to like jets or equipment or anything.
I just want to see that comic arc where Spider-Man takes on the U.S. military. Goes full
That
Deadpool.
Now that's based.
Oh. I tell you what, I am disappointed in the Flag Smashers though, because Ultimatum is one of my favorite like villain factions, because they're like not as like they're kind of generic, but that's why they're good. They don't have like some stupid like big plot shit. They're just a military group that does its own thing. And Flag Smasher was a pretty decent villain. But then this show, it's like, man, what a boring enemy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's like I was saying before the show came out. There was a real opportunity to have a villain that at least makes you think about, well, I guess to a degree, they do make you think about like the power structures that exist.
Yeah, but I mean,
But I don't
it's
know,
not that
like
much.
as far as like challenging structures went, all that the Flag Smashers really did in this show is be like, maybe people should have resources. And it's like, well, that's not bold of you to say.
I mean, again, though, they are making a TV show that needs to appeal to like every single fucking person.
Oh yeah, I do realize that. I just, like I said earlier, it's at least worth acknowledging. Like I don't expect
Yeah,
it to be any different. Like I don't expect it to be the way that I want it to be.
it'd be
I
cool
just
if it
think it's
was,
worth,
though.
like when discussing stuff like this, it's worth acknowledging the, certain biases that
Yeah,
exist.
yeah,
But
that
yeah,
makes
like I was saying,
sense.
like the Flag Smashers did really have a lot of potential as villains to challenge the status quo and to challenge power structures, basically.
I mean, even
And I'm
as
just
like
kind of disappointed in
generic,
how it turned out.
Even as a generic Marvel villain, though, they're kind of on the lame scale, I'd say. Like they had a cool thing, yeah, going where they're like, "Oh, I agree with them on this," but then it's like, okay,
Yeah. Well, I also feel like there was missed potential in like when we did get a little bit of this in the finale and at the end of episode 5 where it's like, oh, the Flag Smashers are fucking everywhere.
yeah,
Like they don't just have like militants out on the ground. Like they have people, like they have sympathizers like everywhere. Like just
yeah,
normal people that agree with the cause that'll help out in some small way. I feel like there was a lot more that could have been done with that.
oh,
Where Sam
absolutely,
and Bucky are like, trying to like stop one of their operations and someone taps the app and suddenly there's a mob of people that they have to like get
fight.
through. Yeah. Well, since it's just regular people, it's not like Sam and Bucky are gonna like break bones and shit.
I feel like
So it would have been interesting to see them try to like non-lethally
deal with
uh
people.
deal with this crowd of people. Because it's like those are the people that they're supposed to be protecting.
Batman's over here like breaking their bones is non-lethal. Crippling someone
Yeah.
for life, that's the Batman way.
And I just felt like there was more there that didn't get tapped into.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential that they had. Again, I feel like them doing these like this is how many episodes we're gonna do thing is like hurting them a bit. Because some of the stuff is nice,
What
but
do you
other
mean?
things are just well, like how they always have these finite episodes. Like we're gonna make this; it's gonna be 6 episodes, and then they film. It's like okay, now we have to make sure it's only 6 episodes.
Well, it's not like they film the whole thing and then Marvel's like, you get 6 episodes, go. No, it's the number of episodes is
Yeah, I know.
either like Marvel approaches like the writers or whatever, and they're like, hey, we're gonna get you these this series, either like a mini series or just a full series that's gonna go on for a number of seasons. They're
Yeah,
like,
I
all right,
know.
so you get one season, it's gonna be this many episodes, and the writers are given that information, then they work with that and they spread the story out however they see fit. Or they write the story and they're like, it's this number of episodes, and Marvel's like, great.
Nah, what I'm saying though is like I think altogether like we should just stop with like oh I need you to do this. Like just like hire a guy, give him an idea, and let him figure out how long he wants to make it. You know? Because
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I do agree that these studios do need to give more freedom to directors.
that's
Because
why I
it's like you don't want another
fucking-
like Spider-Man 3 situation, or like Amazing Spider-Man 2 situation where it's like, oh, I see that you've written this movie. But can you
Let
put
me
Venom
ruin
in
it.
it? Or like can you put the Green Goblin in it?
see like this
Or
is
like
why
can
I
you
like
fit in the death of Gwen Stacy?
this is why I like Studio A1. They're just completely like all about like yeah you want to do that? Go ahead. Here's some money. We don't care.
I've never heard of that studio.
They do a lot of horror movie things, but they're really nice. A lot of up and coming film directors, indie films and stuff, they usually go through them because their whole like mission statement is that they want more creative freedom for people to make their own shows how they want and stuff.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, that's kind of like how Studio Fest is.
Yeah.
They made Souvenirs, that movie that I PA'd for last year. Or not
Oh, yeah?
last year. That was March 2019, I think. God. So 2 years ago, I PA'd for this movie Souvenirs, and the studio that made it, Studio Fest, it was their first feature that they like produced. But
Oh, yeah.
basically, what it is, and this is for anyone listening, if you happen to be like in, the directing or like screenwriting field, if you have an idea for a movie that you want, like if you're a screenwriter and you have a script that you want made, every year Studio Fest, and this is not like a promotion or whatever, it's a resource that I think is very good. Yeah, if you have a screenplay that you want to be made, or if you're a director and you want to direct your first feature, check out Studio Fest. I'll probably link it under additional resources, but
They're
every
the
year they have a
best in the
contest.
fest.
They have a contest where you submit your screenplay, and if you're a director, you submit like something that you've directed, and they'll pick the best of both of those. They'll pick the best screenplay and they'll pick the best director, and they'll pair you together, and you get to make that feature.
That's pretty lit. That's pretty cool. I gotta stop using that lingo.
But yeah,
outdated.
I'm really glad that they did that, because and it's also like a film festival too. But yeah, the whole point of it is to like be for like up and comers and not people that already have connections that don't need help.
Yeah.
And I'm just super into that idea.
Oh, fucking hell yeah, man. Like, more power to people that are willing to give the little guy a chance in my book, you know? Like, I really like that Studio A1 guy. Like, a whole bunch of shit.
Oh, yeah.
I was looking forward to a whole bunch of, like, indie shows, indie films.
Go through them, like, every year, and it's like, hell yeah. That's that good shit. Give them $1,000 every day.
But yeah, so back to the finale, though.
Yeah.
I do have another criticism.
All right.
So, John Walker, I think him in the finale, like, he was handled, I don't want to say poorly, but he was handled, like, in a pretty insensitive manner, where, you know, he allegedly decapitated a guy.
Yeah.
And it's treated, as it should be, as this huge thing, like a crime against humanity, right? Like he murdered someone in cold blood when he really didn't have to.
Oh yeah.
But then and also, like, we get, like, at the end of episode 5, it's like, oh shit, he's gonna like try to be Captain America still. And he makes his own shield and everything. And like, oh, this guy is going to be like a threat, because he's going to be like, no, I'm Captain America. And he's like going to be some form of villain. But then in the finale, he just gets to be a hero. Like, at first he's like, oh, I'm going to get revenge. Then he gets his shit knocked and he's like, oh, I'm going to get you, Morgenthau. And then he's like, oh, do I go after the Flag Smashers or do I save this truckload of people? And he saves a truckload of people. And it's like, oh, he's redeemed now. He's a good guy. He gets to have banter with Bucky.
Yeah, this is why I think they should have had at least another episode.
Yeah. I don't think...
Build that up more.
Yeah, I don't think he should be redeemed so quickly. Like, I believe in having a redemption process for even, like, deplorable characters. But they do have to go through some kind of change and growth. And he did none of that.
Yeah.
All that it was is like, oh, he is a good guy after all, even after all the like microaggressions and subtle racism. And because he is racist.
Wait, what?
Like, he doesn't just represent racism. John Walker as a dude is like subtly racist.
Huh, where? I don't get that vibe from him. What are you...
How many times has John Walker addressed Sam as a person? And how many times has he addressed Sam as Bucky's partner?
I don't know.
Whenever this is just something that I've noticed watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Every time, at least that I can think of, every time that John Walker has addressed Sam or he's been upset with something that Sam has done, he turns to Bucky and he says, "Are you really going to let your partner do this?" Because he sees him as just another black sidekick.
I don't think that's what they're going for.
Well, it is a show about race.
Well, yeah.
So I think it is what they're going for. But no, you can make the argument that he doesn't mean to do it, or he doesn't know like consciously that he's being subtly racist. But that doesn't take away from the fact that that is like subtly really racist and problematic. Like, it's not problematic writing. I want to make it clear. I don't think it's problematic writing. They're just writing a character that is in universe problematic. And I don't think it should be, swept aside so quickly. Because it's like, after all that, after doing nothing really to like atone for how awful he's been, he just gets to be a good guy now, or like an anti-hero, I guess. But in the heat of battle, he's like, he gets to have his like shining moment of like, oh, he is a good guy after all, because he saved the people. It's like, well, I mean, yeah, he did a good thing. Like, I'm not going to take that away from him, but he still he needs a lot of work before he can have like good guy like hero banter.
They
with
need
Bucky.
more episodes before they start doing more complex characters. Like, it worked with WandaVision because they didn't have that whole, like, oh, this person's going to actually be a good guy at the end of it kind of thing.
Well, to be fair, WandaVision did also kind of fumble with Agatha Harkness.
I mean, a little bit, but she stayed a villain when she revealed herself as a villain.
Right, yeah. It's just, it had a similar issue where it felt kind of rushed at the end, where it's like, oh, I'm Agatha Harkness, it was me all along, but also I'm gonna like help you through your I'm gonna help you through your repressed trauma, but also I'm a bad guy.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
It's like choose one or the other.
Marvel has a problem with that. They're bad at writing villains. That's why every villain you see is...
Okay, Thanos is the only good Marvel villain. I'm gonna say that right now. Every other villain has just been poorly written.
Well, I don't know about Loki. Has been pretty well written, I think.
Yeah, but as a bad guy, though.
Well, he's not a...
Like, when he was a bad
Yeah.
guy, he wasn't really that interesting, but him being a good guy... Like,
right.
if Thor
Yeah, I'll give you
Ragnarok
that.
didn't exist, Loki would still be trashed here. And only, like,
I will give you that.
Yeah, only, like, Tumblr fangirls would be all about Loki. They
Yeah.
start shipping him like the Onceler.
Oh, God. Oh, you know what? That's... Okay, look. In Loki, the series that's coming up, so it seems like they call Loki a variant. It seems like he's gonna be meeting up with like alternate versions of himself, and if they start fucking shipping him with other versions of himself, I will be...
Alex.
I don't know what I will be.
They're going to do that.
I know. I need to prepare myself, I guess.
Yeah. Just mentally prepare. Get in the isolation chamber and just
I need to
scream for
meditate
an
on this
hour.
for a while. But yeah, no, that's another thing that upsets me. We have 7 more weeks until Loki comes out.
Well, I mean, it's only 7. It could
Well,
be.
it's
It
well,
could
it's
be
7
worse. You could
weeks.
have to wait a whole year before you're gonna see another fucking shot of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I'm so mad about that.
Yeah, true.
They
But no,
bring
7
it back
like
and he's gone instantly.
No, I didn't realize until like a few days ago, like, oh, I'm pretty sure Loki's coming out right after Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? Then I look, nope, fucking June.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a shit ton of things coming out in June. I just realized like a couple games I was interested in too. Holy fuck.
I saw a theory on TikTok. Someone was saying, Marvel was saying like a while ago, like, oh, it's going to be back-to-back Marvel stuff on Disney Plus, and also a 7-week gap. That is like the perfect amount of time to fit like a series.
Yeah.
So like, I personally don't think this is going to happen, but part of me wants it to happen, where there's like a secret series that they've been working on that they haven't talked about that's going to release in this 7-week period.
What if it's What If?
I can't wait until What If. Apparently they're doing a What If Steve Rogers with Spider-Man, which I am very interested in. Is it going to be scrawny Steve Rogers? Is it going to be like during World War II? Is it going to be current day? Like, is it going to be like Avengers era Steve Rogers where he already has the serum? I'm excited to see it.
That's an interesting idea, but I feel like it's too small for like What If. They should be doing shit like what if Thanos accidentally disintegrated himself or some stupid shit like that, you know?
No, it seems like What If is going to be pretty much just Marvel, but a different character, but like a character is a different character.
Ah, god damn, that's kind of lame though.
It's gonna be like, what if T'Challa was Star-Lord, and like what if Peggy Carter was Captain America, and like that kind of stuff.
There's been so many events though they could do.
Yeah, well,
Like, what if Iron Man was a villain? What if he didn't learn a lesson? You could do something
I
like
also
that.
think
Damn.
I'm looking at some concept art, and it looks like there's going to be one where it's like, what if Gamora took over Thanos' role? And she, like, usurped him.
I mean, it's interesting ideas, but why is it all just what if character A was character B? Why is that all they're doing?
Well, I don't know for sure if that's all that it's going to be, but it looks like that's going to be a lot of it.
It makes me so sad.
I still have hope for it. I think it's going to be pretty good.
Well, yeah, it's going to be good. I just am sad, though, because the What If comics was more than just, like, what if character was other characters? Like, what if this event happened this way instead? What if this character died before this part? What if he lived?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, well, it looks like, I'm looking at it, it looks like there's going to be 2 seasons of it.
What if Mysterio was from another dimension?
So it could be like season 1 is like, what if one character was another character, and then season 2 is going to be like, what if this event happened differently? Or it could just they could both be a mix of those two.
I hope
either way, I'm excited for it.
I'm excited, but I'm also a little like worried because I really want the event stuff because that's where the best stories come from. It's like if you do a thing where like a character dies before they're supposed to, or like someone is like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like an event that played out was different.
Well, to be clear, it does look like Loki is going to explore some of that.
True. Well, that would be
I don't know.
cool.
I don't know how much you've seen of like the trailers and stuff, but like there's a shot where Loki is standing in New York and it's all ruined, and it looks like that's going to be the timeline where like he took the Tesseract and fucked off. And events played out differently. The Avengers were defeated by something or someone. Like we see Avengers Tower in ruins.
Yeah.
However you say it. We actually don't know. Like it's not known yet when exactly What If is going to be coming out. It just says summer 2021.
They release it next week. Or actually,
it's probably going to be after. It's probably going to be after Loki.
If they're smart, they do it now so we can have some enjoyment.
Yeah.
But
well, it doesn't quite fit the gap because it's supposed to be 10 episodes.
Well, I mean, they can have it running the whole time.
I guess. It doesn't fit as neatly into the gap. The 7-week gap.
Like, with normal Marvel shows like Winter Soldier and Falcon. Was it Falcon and Winter Soldier, or was it the other way around?
It's Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
With Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
At the end of the finale, it was Captain America and the Winter Soldier to indicate growth.
It's weird they keep calling him the Winter Soldier.
Okay, you know what? I mentioned that earlier. I forgot that I wanted to get into that. But yeah, Marvel needs to stop calling them the Winter Soldier. Like, it's a cool name and everything, but it's like,
that means so much horrible shit to him. It's like going up to someone and just like, I don't know, referring to them as just an insult the whole time, or like they have something that they hate about themselves, and you just keep calling them that.
Well, it's like I know people that like used to drink but don't drink anymore, so I don't go up to them and be like, "It's my buddy, the alcoholic."
It's like going up to someone who's like struggling with like an eating disorder, just like, "What's up, fatty?" It's horrible. God. It's such a horrible thing.
Oh, like replace his name with like the White Wolf or something, because like that's his name that he got while he was in Wakanda.
It's like, what does Bucky even go by as a superhero name? He doesn't even have a superhero name. I think
he actively avoids being a superhero.
Yeah.
He gets dragged into this shit.
Man's just trying to live a good life.
He keeps getting roped into saving the universe.
I guess I have an opening in my schedule.
Like in Infinity War, when he's just vibing in Wakanda, they bring him the new arm, and he's like, oh, where's the fight? So defeated.
Yeah.
So just broken as a man. because he thought this is, I'm in a good place now. I have defeated the Winter Soldier programming. I'm in a really good spot right now. The Wakandans are very kind to me. I get to just vibe and be like a sheep farmer or something. And then he has to try and fight Thanos.
It's like veterans of World War One. Once the draft comes in, where's the fight?
God. Someone born in 2001 at the inception of the Iraq War getting enlisted in Iraq.
Where's the
All right, where's the fight?
God, that was so fucking horrible. I remember when Bush started doing that. I was scared that my dad was gonna get fucking drafted and shit. I was like 3.
You were like, you must have been like, what, 2? How would you remember that? How would you remember the start of the Iraq War?
Because I was sad.
The Iraq War taught me a very valuable lesson.
Don't let weird
when you have
people in.
When you have the ability to extract oil for the United States
Not this again.
and its economic interests, you have a moral obligation to enlist.
No.
And like, we can't make you because we don't have the draft anymore, but like you should.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do the Spider-Man thing again.
But like you have a moral obligation to do the thing.
You have a moral obligation to do the thing with the stuff, and you get it.
Look, the way I see it, I had one more opportunity to use that before it gets old, and I wanted to cash in.
Gonna cash in your joke card. Oh.
But anyway,
It's like the whole Bucky thing is like going up to a veteran and just being like, "What's up, shooter boy?"
Well, it's like going up to your friend that just got back from a tour in Afghanistan and trying to get him into a street fight. That's pretty much what happened. That has been every thing that Bucky has been in since the Winter Soldier. Civil War. He's just trying to like be on the run and just kind of lay low for a bit. Then like fucking Zemo frames him in a bombing at the UN, and Steve is like, "Hey, I'm gonna try to get you out of this shit." And then he ends up getting roped into a street fight, and then he gets taken to Wakanda, and he's just kind of on ice for a bit. And then Steve shows up again, and he's like, "I gotta drag you into another street fight. There's this really tough guy on the block, and he's like trying to kill half of us." Real bummer.
I want to what if Bucky like grew a backbone?
What if
like,
Bucky
no!
knew how to say
We're
no?
not doing this.
You can go. I just want to farm my. What the fuck were they farming? Wheat? Rice? What the hell do they grow in Wakanda? Metal? Is that what they eat? What food was Wakanda?
I think they just eat regular food.
No, because they got that sci-fi shit. They have to have some funky shit too. It's only the rules of how advanced civilizations work.
Some weird jelly.
It's like we grow weird jelly in our fields.
The laws.
Babe, are you all right? You've barely touched your weird jelly.
The laws of sci-fi utopias work like this. Everything is sleek and shiny. Everyone has you can tell it's based off of a modern fashion sense, but then there's like weird things added to it. And also, they don't ever eat normal food. It's like even in Star Wars, like they have normal-ish looking food, but all their utensils are stupid.
Yeah.
Eating an apple with a steak knife. And then
well, I think that's just Anakin being weird.
No, it was Padme that was eating it.
Oh, well, weird recognizes weird.
I guess. That's why they're so attracted to each other. It's just fucking weird.
You eat an apple with a steak knife too? I thought I was the only one.
Damn
Let's get married.
Let's have a bunch of kids that are also going to grow up to be weird.
Fucking
Let's get married, and then let's have kids that get married.
Almost happened. You know what? Explaining it that weird is a genetic thing really makes Luke sucking titties on that alien planet make more sense.
All right. Next thing on the menu. This week's movie pick was A Lot of Trouble, but Not Enough China.
Yeah. Lot of trouble, very little China.
It's Big Trouble in Little China, the supernatural action movie about
Ghosts living in San Francisco Chinatown.
Yeah. So before we get into, so this is one that you recommended last week.
It's one of my favorite action adventure movies. Yes, I used to watch it all the time as a kid.
Now, before we get into it, do you want to read the synopsis? I know you did last week, but
I can. I have the DVD right here. Directed by Throwmaster John Carpenter, this edge-of-your-seat adventure stars Kurt Russell as Jack Burton, a tough-talking, wisecracking truck driver whose humdrum life on the road takes a sudden supernatural tailspin when his best friend's fiancée is kidnapped. Speeding to the rescue, Jack finds himself beneath San Francisco's Chinatown in a murky, creature-filled world ruled by Lo Pan, a 2,000-year-old magician who mercilessly presides over the Empire of Spirits. Dodging demons and facing baffling terrors, Jack battles his way through Lo Pan's dark domain in a full-throttle, action-riddled ride to rescue the girl. Co-starring Kim Cattrall, this effects-filled sci-fi spectacle speeds to an incredible twist-taking finish. Color, 1986, 99 minutes.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So overall, well, do you want to give your overall thoughts on it? Then I'll give my overall thoughts, and then I have a list. I made a list while I was watching the movie of stuff that just stood out to me as just moments that I love.
Yeah, I like this movie. I do. It's one of my favorite action adventure movies because it's just ridiculous. Everything about this movie is like The Mummy, where they know it's going to be a stupid movie, so they just go full 110% the whole time. Like, if a movie could be made by a group of crackheads and turn out good, I'd say it would be this one. It would wind up like that. And I love it. So what's your thoughts on it, Alex?
Well, racial stereotypes aside, like cultural sensitivity issues aside.
No, like I said, this is made in the 80s. It is not a fucking...
You
don't go into this
very
movie
80s.
for a very accurate portrayal of people. Half the people in this movie know karate for no reason.
Oh yeah. Yeah, overall, I don't know. I have complicated feelings on it because like going into it and before I really realized like what this movie is, like
It's insane,
like,
is what
in
this
the-
movie is.
well, look, in the middle of it, I was like kind of bored, and I was like, "What? This is kind of, a little boring. It's just a lot of like action and stuff. Like it's just, gratuitous like fight scenes and stuff. Not a lot to like hold my attention." But then, as I got more towards like the third act, I realized like this movie might be secretly genius. Like
It's beautiful.
I don't know, just Kurt Russell being Kurt Russell. There's like moments of humor that that push it above and beyond. I think one word that I would use to describe this movie is self-aware. This movie, like The Mummy, knows exactly what it is. It knows exactly what it's trying to do, and I love it for that. Like this movie feels very aware, because especially at the time, unfortunately in Hollywood at this time, and even now to a degree, it's harder to have like an Asian action protagonist. Like it's, usually like some white guy.
Yeah.
And this
Looking
movie
at
felt,
you, the wall.
this movie felt very aware of the fact that Kurt Russell is only in it as like a token white action hero. And and it does everything that it can to make sure that he's not the most competent guy in the room.
My favorite thing about this movie, I told you about this before, is every single fight scene that they have, Kurt Russell immediately gets his shit kicked in.
Oh yeah.
He's either knocking himself out, getting beat up by guys who know more moves than just punching people, or he's like fighting a fucking sorcerer with a handgun. He doesn't do anything competent until like the very end. That's the one cool thing he does.
Yeah, no, my one of my favorite parts, and this is in like the final battle when Lopan, the bad guy, is like gonna marry these two girls, and they're like waiting to like rush in, and Kurt Russell like shoots up a couple of shots just up in the air with his gun. And then it like knocks a couple pieces of ceiling loose, and it just knocks him out for a minute, and everyone else is like kicking ass while he's just laying there with his shit rocked. Like
he's just like dead.
He's legally dead for 2 minutes, and then he gets back into the action. Like that so moment, good. Like it's like, okay, let's set this guy aside for a minute while the real heroes do their work.
My favorite thing about that movie too is like every explanation for the things going on is it's ancient magic. You wouldn't get it.
Oh yeah, I love that so much.
Everyone knows karate, everyone's magical, except for Kurt Russell, who's just a dude.
Oh yeah, I know. I appreciate how much this movie commits to the bit that all Asians know martial arts and magic.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
Like, it is very of its time.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, this isn't a movie you watch for like some like deep thought-provoking shit. You watch this movie because it's made by a bunch of crackheads, basically.
Yeah. No, like one of my favorite parts is Lopan versus this guy named Egg.
Egg is the best character. He is like a drunk
Egg is the real
guy
hero.
that makes tea, and he knows all of the magic in the world.
He's the real hero of this movie.
At one point, he basically drugs everyone.
No, my favorite part though is him versus Lopan, and they like shoot magic at each other. You know, it feels very like it feels like a Filthy Frank video with like the like crudely composited like beams of light, and they have their little like avatars fighting like it's fucking Beyblade.
It's so good. My favorite thing about it is when Lopan's doing it, he's doing this weird thing because he's got these like large gold pinky finger claws, and so he's like moving his thumbs around like he's playing on a fucking controller. He's like having a blast.
So much. I love it so much.
Like, Lopan is one of my favorite villains from any action adventure movie because he's just the guy that plays him is just having so much fun.
It's so handy and I love it so much.
I want to get into some spoilers. But,
yeah, we can go full spoilers on this.
Another thing I want to talk about before, though, is I just love the fact that there's just random fucking monsters that appear for no reason.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
that's
the gorilla monster that just shows up, and then there's the fucking eyeball guy.
Yeah, the movie gets you used to, like... The movie gets you used to, like, magic and sorcerers and stuff. Then it just introduces monsters out of nowhere, and I'm not even that surprised, to be honest.
My favorite part, though, is where they come out of the fucking ancient evil sewer full of monstrosities and giant bugs. They crawl out into Lopan's, like, temple. They walk 2 feet. They open a door. There's just a floating head covered in eyes, and it's just like, yep, normal shit. Just shoot it.
Yeah, like it looked like a Minecraft mob.
So it looks like fucking those eyeball guys from D&D. I forget what they're called, beholders or something. I'll show you a picture so you can see it. But it's just so great because it's just there.
But no, speaking of that scene though, when Lopan is talking to them through his guardian, the thing with like the floating thing with the eyes.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts in the movie when Lopan is just being full hammy bad guy, and he's like, "Oh, I got your girls. I got your girl. I got your girl. I'm gonna fuck your girl, and I'm gonna kill your girl."
Yeah. Lopan.
He literally, basically, he's like, "I'm gonna kill your girl. I'm gonna fuck your girl." Na 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 na.
Now, I don't think we talked about this,
just
but the
hamming
plot
it
for
the fuck up.
the reason why he's stealing people's girls is Lo Pan was cursed by, was it the Emperor of China or something? And
Yeah, let's get into some of the characters' motivations. So yeah, break down
So
what does the bad guy want and how is he gonna get that goal?
he wants to become mortal again. So I think was it so he could pass on to the afterlife because he's like stuck on Earth. He's like this ancient sorcerer that can't die now, and the only way to get that is if he marries a girl with green eyes. Like marries a girl with green eyes to appease one god, and then kill her to appease
And he has
another.
more difficulty with it than you'd think.
Yes. And then all of a sudden, two girls show up in Chinatown in San Francisco, which is where he lives for some reason. They never explain why, but he just lives in San Francisco. But
Cheaper rent,
two girls,
I guess.
I guess. But two girls show up that just so happen to have green eyes.
No, like what he like the curse that he has is he has to marry and kill a girl with green eyes. And then these
And
two
he
girls show
finds
up and he's
two.
like, fucking best of both worlds, I guess. I get to
I'll
keep
just
one.
kill that one and we'll marry that one. It's like window shopping. But so Lo Pan has a variety of means to do this. First thing he has is he's got a gang he has. I forget what they're called. But there's a gang war going on in San Francisco between these two groups who both know karate and also magic. And one of the groups works for Lo Pan, and he's got his own like private squad of enforcers they call the Storms with him. And they have the most imaginative names. There's the Thunder one named Thunder, the Rain one named Rain, and then the Lightning one named Lightning.
Honestly, this movie feels like a video game.
It's so good.
I mentioned last week that the poster looks like the cover of a Sega Genesis game. This movie
It feels like
this
it.
movie felt like a Sega Genesis game.
It's fucking beautiful.
This movie specifically feels like a Sega Genesis game.
But so Lightning though, the guy that wears the hat the whole time and everything, because the other two they take their hats off because they all have like this fucking like weird giant like rice picker hat, but not really. I don't know what the fuck that hat's called.
It looks like the headdress that Dua Lipa wore in her SNL performance of Levitating. I'll send it to you. It looks like it's the same picture. Corporate needs you to find the difference between these two pictures.
The thing is though, there's a character in Mortal Kombat named Raiden whose entire thing is just that character. They stole his design, his powers, and everything. And like they're not even like lying about it. It's like, yeah, we took this from Big Trouble in Little China. We just thought it was cool. And I feel like that's how the best takeaway from this show, this movie. It's cool. But no, so Jack Burton
Look at what I sent.
let me open up the thingy.
The headdress that she's wearing, it looks like the
Oh fuck
thing
yeah,
that the
no, you're
guys
not
wear.
wrong. You're not wrong. With the wisps coming off it.
Yeah.
But no, Jack Burton's his whole thing behind his motivations is
his motivation is he has a truck, he loses the truck, then he wants the truck back, and then he meets a girl and he's like, I guess I'm gonna save the girl too. And that is his character. That is the extent of who Jack Burton is.
My favorite
that's
thing
all
is
he
his
needs to be.
His end goal changes like constantly through the movie. When he starts off, he just wants to hang out with his friend, who he also hates. Like it seems like they have a vendetta against each other. Like constantly,
well,
like,
they constantly
you owe me my
each
money.
other money.
Yeah,
it's
So,
fun.
like-
It's a
so,
very
like-
80s guy kind of like repressed masculinity kind of friendship.
it's good. But so his whole thing is he wants his friend to give him his money, so he's gonna hang out with them the entire time until he gets his $1,000 he's owed or something like that. It's a
It
ridiculous
was like
amount.
$1,400.
That's what it was, $1,400. And so they go to the airport because the other guy's picking up his fiance. He finally got money to get her to get a plane ticket over to America, so they're gonna go get married. And then we're introduced to the only two women in the entire world, I guess, to have green eyes. A reporter who Jack Burton takes a slight fancy to.
Hold on just a second about the whole green eyes thing. Like it's mentioned in the movie, it's rare for Chinese people to have green eyes, which I guess I'll take their word for. I'm not a geneticist, but it seems like this guy, Lopan.
He's lazy as fuck.
No, what I'm saying though is Lopan, it seems like it's never explicitly said that it has to be a Chinese woman. Because he's able to marry the one white lady.
Yeah.
So he could just pick any woman with green eyes. And it's taken him 2,000 years to find one.
Yeah. Personally, I think I like the idea that Lopan was just okay with his sentence up until then. He's like, fuck, I gotta live forever and still be a magician? Let's go! And then after year 1900 passes, this is so boring. I can't do shit anymore.
Yeah, well, he is geriatric now. He can't do shit. He's in a wheelchair and stuff. So I think he's had it up to here.
A version of him is geriatric. It's weird because there's two different forms. There's the physical form he takes, which is just this extremely old Chinese guy, or his normal form, which is the most fucking 80s rock album cover looking character. He looks like the bad guy for a Mortal Kombat game.
Oh, yeah.
He just walks up. It's like, oh my god! I wonder who the villain's gonna be. Got what is it, white face makeup and all this other shit, this ridiculous hat kind of thing.
Yeah, well, he looks like a ghost. He looks like a ghost, from a play or something.
He looks amazing. I love him. But so yeah, then his truck gets stolen, and he's like, "Well, gotta find my truck." No, what happens is his friend's fiance gets kidnapped. So him, the reporter lady, his friend, and an old Asian man are recruited to go and fight God, basically. So they go to find that. They lose his truck. He's like, well, fuck, now we gotta go get my truck. And then that's his motivation for the entire movie.
Yeah. No, the truck is insured too, but he just doesn't want to be on the phone with them and try to get a payout for it or get a replacement or whatever. He goes through all of this trouble fighting the Chinese underground and fighting a 2,000-year-old wizard just so he can avoid a phone call.
That's dedication, man.
You know what?
That guy's got
I understand
horrible
that.
social anxiety.
I fully empathize with that.
So he goes to get his truck back.
Yeah.
And that's, I think at that point, they find the truck.
I don't want to go through a whole summary of it because we are kind of limited on time. But I do want to go through. I want to go through some more of my favorite moments from this movie.
You go first. I want to do the same thing.
Okay. So at one point, Kurt Russell, this is when they're all together, in the underground. And he opens the store and he's like, all right, look, this is a higher level place. All right, we can just kind of zoom right through here. They're not going to be expecting us here. It's going to be all smooth sailing from here. He opens the door and it's an entire army ready to fucking kill him.
Yeah.
And then he just closes the door and he's like, all right, you guys kind of skedaddle.
It's so good.
Just all the moments. Every moment that demonstrates the only reason Kurt Russell is the main character is because he's a white guy.
Oh, he's such a terrible character too.
Oh yeah,
he's just so
another
there.
one. So this is after Kurt Russell and the gang rescue the two girls from being married to Lopan, and the white girl, love interest for Kurt Russell, kisses him. And most movies, when a female character is wearing makeup and she kisses a male character, that isn't wearing makeup. Most movies will not show makeup being smudged on the guy's face, so as to not be like distracting or whatever.
This revolutionary.
This movie does the exact opposite, and I love it for that. Because for a solid like 5 minutes in this action sequence, Kurt Russell just has like lipstick smeared on like the middle of his lips and teeth.
Yeah,
he has so much lipstick on his teeth. And then I think it's Egg. He's like, hey, let me get that for you. I love that. I love that moment so much.
One of my favorite moments happens when they have their final fight with Lopan. Kurt Russell has him cornered.
I think I know what you're talking about.
He throws his knife. Lopan catches it. He's like, nice knife, Mr. Burton. Time to die.
Oh, yeah.
Throws it back. And he grabs it, then throws it back and kills him.
That's my favorite thing. Yeah, Kurt Russell pretty much learns from all of his past mistakes throughout the entire movie. And he puts all of his stats in defense and then just fucking says, no, you. And he lands the knife square in the middle of Lopan's forehead.
That fight, I love it because it's so anticlimactic. Like you get to, it's like the final fight. Throws knife, guy grabs knife, throws knife back, throws knife back at guy.
It's like, you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Knockout City when we were playing the Knockout City beta.
Yeah.
And you can like catch the ball and throw it back. It's like that, but with throwing the knife. And Lopan just did not. He didn't hit X to dodge fast enough.
I just love that scene. Another scene I love though is
what I was gonna say though, that's like in Indiana Jones when Indiana just like shoots the guy. But that's the third act finale.
Yeah,
that's the
so
climax.
Good. Another part I like, it happens immediately after that scene, is Thunder's death, because he encounters his master's corpse and he's just like, oh god. So then he turns himself into a bomb and explodes.
I love that so much. Yeah, the guy that explodes, he had a very strange, confusing, and frankly terrifying energy throughout the whole thing. The one part where he just does like karate moves for like a solid 2 minutes.
Yeah. The Storms are my favorite like side henchman characters because they're all, the idea of them are fucking ridiculous.
The way that they like descend in every scene that they're in is just so like
it's great.
Dominant.
They come in, they're like T-posing.
That's basically what it is. It's like those moments like in like there's a specific clip that I'm thinking of, but it's like in a video game where they have like the character like animation doesn't quite load in. Let me find it. Let's just pause for a second. I gotta find that clip because it's very much worth it.
Well, while we're doing this, I want to talk more about them because another thing I love about them is how like only one of them hasn't.
I'm gonna send this to you. You have to watch it.
All right. Send it to me.
And I'll link this in the description so you can see what I'm talking about. But it's Miles Morales. He's getting beaten up by some muggers. And Spider-Man he swings in, but like the swinging animation doesn't like load in. So it's just him like T-posing.
That's exactly what they look like.
Yeah. This is like at the end of the clip. So at 1 minute and 40 seconds, yeah, so Spider-Man, he's just T-posing and he just ascends away. And that's what happened in this movie. I love it so much.
Another thing I love about the Storms, though, is their names. Only one of them has a name that coincides with his power. Lightning has lightning powers. Thunder just explodes. And then Rain just has a sword. I don't know why they're called that. I feel like
theming.
I feel like they thought it was cool with the lightning ones. Like, oh, we called them the Storms. One of them has lightning powers. We name him Lightning, and then it just went downhill from there.
Well, you can't have a member of the Storms not have a weather-related name.
But they don't have weather-related superpowers. Like, Thunder's whole thing is that he's good at fighting, and then he explodes.
Yeah.
He just turns into a bomb.
I
turned myself into a bomb.
I have decided to explode.
I like how that happened, too, because he looks over, he's like, oh, no. Looks at them, just... just blows up.
But no, going down the list of favorite moments though, another favorite from this movie is at the end when the good guys have won. They're all regrouped, and Kurt Russell's like, maybe I'll settle down here, and him and the one lady are like, they're kind of going back and forth, like, and he leaves, and someone's like, what, aren't you gonna kiss her goodbye? He's like, no, and then he leaves. No. He just leaves.
Fucking Chad.
Alpha moment.
Kurt
That's
Russell.
Literally, aren't you gonna kiss her? No.
He has the best character development because he goes from being the worst to the greatest. Man, another thing I liked about the movie though is at the very end where the monster's revealed to be living in his truck. Because it's just like, it's out of nowhere. There's no sequel to this movie. It just happens.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, the monster in the truck. What the fuck was that about?
I lied. There is a sequel to this movie. It's not a movie or a show. It's a comic book. What happened?
Oh, God.
I remember now. What happens is the reason why the monster is living with him now is because since he killed Lopan, ownership of the monster transferred to him. So now he's got this pet orangutan gorilla monster.
That just seems like more responsibility than it's worth.
I mean, yeah. That's another thing I love about the movie. Like, the exact moment when they introduce monsters is you see, like, the portrait gag where there's, like, the eyes that shift out, then go back in, and then a fucking monster comes out of the door.
Oh, yeah.
It's just out of nowhere. It's so good. There's so many great moments in this movie. I just have to say the best moment is the whole 99 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
but yeah, overall, best movie ever.
Hell yeah!
Secretly genius.
So good. I just really love every fight scene though, because it starts the same way. Everyone else is fighting with like kung fu techniques, and then it cuts to Kurt Russell, who's just unconscious on the floor, slumped over.
I love it. I love it so much.
The best gag in the movie, and then like he has his own personal growth because he's just the worst hero, and then he does the coolest shit at the very end. He's like, yeah, I basically took them all out by myself. Just dead the whole time.
You know what? Kurt Russell in this movie is a lot like Jonathan in The Mummy.
Yes, absolutely.
Where like he doesn't do much, but he has this like bossy energy.
There's just an energy to him that you just love. You hate and you love at the same time.
Yeah. I love this movie so much.
Another part I love though is
by the way, this is free on YouTube. So listener, you gotta watch it.
It's free with ads.
You have nothing to lose.
Watch it. I want more people to know about this movie because it's one of those like really great action adventure movies that just doesn't give a shit. It's so great. It's like The Mummy, except in San Francisco, and instead of a mummy, it's just a really old guy. God damn it. I could go on for hours about this. There's just so many just great parts. Oh yeah, another part I loved. Almost forgot about this. The part where Egg's like, we're gonna go into the underground. Don't worry, it's safe. And then immediately some guy gets eaten by a giant wall bug. He's like, I lied, by the way. Just stick close. We're good.
One thing that confused me in this movie was the opening when Egg is like talking to like an attorney. And it made me think like, is there going to be like a court case in this movie? Nope, it's never addressed.
No.
Never again in this movie is it addressed that that Egg is talking to an attorney. for reasons.
I like that though, because you never know. Like with Egg, it could be anything. Again, at one point he drugs
What
everyone.
A guy.
I
thought it was going to be
invincible.
revealed at the end. When Egg was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go," and he walks out the door. I thought it was going to be revealed. Like, I thought he was going to like evaporate. I thought he was going to be revealed to be like a spirit or something. I thought he was going to be the guy that cursed Lopan.
You think that, but no. This movie is just like, no, Egg's just this weird guy that knows magic.
Egg is just a baller.
He's just fucking, he's great. One of the best
Egg
characters
is just
in the movie.
He's an alpha Chad.
Egg is what the Magi wish they were.
For sure.
Oh, enough gushing about this movie. I give it a good 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah. So the plan is moving forward every week. One of us is going to recommend a movie for the other. And then the following week, we'll talk about that movie. So my pick for next week, I recommend this movie to you, Jared, and to you, the listener. Batman the movie from 1966, starring Adam West. I realize it's not on anything. It's on Hulu, but you have to have the live TV thing. It's on like a couple of like premium like services, but you could. I mean, I got it on Blu-ray for like less than $10 from Walmart, I believe. So like it's a cheap thing to buy.
Do you have it on your thing?
I do. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I do have a Blu-ray copy of it. But yeah, listener, if you're able to watch it, if you're willing to spend a few dollars on the DVD or Blu-ray, I totally recommend it. And we will be talking about it next week. If you don't mind talking about spoilers, we will give enough like contextual information that you won't be like lost during the discussion. I mean, it's 60s Batman. It's nothing too like deep.
Insane.
It's nothing that you can't follow with context clues. But yeah, if you're able to watch it, I recommend watching it before next week's episode, because we will be discussing it and it'll be spoilery, as spoilery as 60s Batman can get.
Yeah. So at some point Robin's gonna die.
But I mean, also it's a fun time. It's a fun movie. So I recommend it regardless. But yeah, that's what we're going to talk about next week. But yeah, let's get into recommendations of the week. Jared, if you have any to add it as a bullet point. If not, I'll just go through mine. So first, I have a channel to recommend. It is Kuncan Dastner, play on Duncan Kastner, I can only assume. Link in description. This guy only has a few thousand subscribers, which is a few thousand more than we have. But if you haven't heard of him, check out some of his videos. He does short like commentary videos. He just did a half-hour one actually on morgues, but most of his videos are like 5 to 15 minutes. Talks about different stuff. He did a video about NFTs, which I've been wanting to get back into, like discussing them on the podcast. I just haven't been able to fit it in. But he did a video about Milana Vaintrub, if that's how you pronounce it, the AT&T girl, and just the shit that she's gotten online. He did a video, is it ethical to make fun of terrible dead people, talking about Prince Philip, the 9,000-year-old zombie that just got around to dying.
A smooth skin.
He did a video about social media fan theories ruining WandaVision. So yeah, go check out his videos. I think he's pretty good.
He sounds right up my asshole.
Yeah, link in description. Go check it out. My second recommendation is Captain America Super Soldier. It's the Captain America the First Avenger tie-in game from 2011. It came out on a lot of platforms actually. Hold on, it came out on Nintendo DS, PlayStation 3, Wii, Xbox 360, Nintendo 3DS, which I didn't know that there was a 3DS version of it. I can't speak to the quality of it, but yeah, it's Captain America Super Soldier. I recommend either the PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 version. I had the Wii version a few years ago, but it kind of sucks. It's a very watered down version of the game. But yeah, think of like how Captain America plays in Marvel's Avengers. It's a similar thing. The combat in this game is like an approximation to like the Arkham games, but it's more fun than it has any business being. Really, I have been playing. I've gotten a few hours into the PlayStation 3 version. So yeah, that's the one that I can fully recommend. I assume the Xbox version is the same, but yeah, don't play the Wii version if you have any other option. The DS version is probably just a mid-tier 2D platformer. No idea what the 3DS version is like. But yeah, it is kind of expensive to get a physical PlayStation 3 version of the game.
And that's like,
I can't say that there are certain less costly ways to play the game. I can tell you that there's a PlayStation 3 emulator on PC. I can tell you that if you have PlayStation 3 ROMs that you get from your own discs, it is perfectly legal to play those on a PlayStation 3 emulator. I cannot condone going to certain websites and downloading PlayStation 3 ROMs. I cannot condone going to one of those websites and getting a ROM of the PlayStation 3 copy of Captain America Super Soldier. I absolutely cannot tell you to do that. I cannot condone it, and I never will. All right? Am I clear?
I think.
I cannot.
I'm confused now.
I cannot.
want to go do that real quick.
I cannot tell you that that's an option.
However,
but yeah, it is a fun game for a Marvel tie-in game from 2011. It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I know. I've heard good things about that and the Wolverine game.
Oh, the Wolverine game. Okay, X-Men Origins Wolverine got delayed by like a year, I believe. So the tie-in game had like a year for the developers to just keep working on it, and it got to a really good place.
Hell yeah.
Now, I cannot condone going to certain websites and downloading a ROM of X-Men Origins Wolverine for PlayStation 3 and playing it on the very legal PlayStation 3 emulator. I can only condone that you get a physical version of the game, dump the ROM yourself with a PlayStation 3 that you own. That's all that I can condone. I cannot condone going to certain websites and downloading it illegally. But yeah, that's Captain America Super Soldier, my second recommendation of the week. Go play it. It's pretty good.
I have a recommendation. I think I've made this before, but I want to do it again.
Oh, by the way, I forgot I was going to mention, it does have like bits of Captain America lore that's not like in the movie. And this is from 2011, so there weren't any plans yet for like Zemo or like Strucker to be introduced. Strucker was in Age of Ultron, Zemo was in Civil War. So we got like more like comic versions of Strucker and Zemo in the game. Like Zemo was like mentioned, and Strucker, he's like straight up a boss battle in the game.
Oh, hell yeah.
So like it does interesting stuff with like the lore.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that's just something that I wanted to add. So you can get into your recommendation.
I have one recommendation. I probably have had it several times. It is my favorite book series called Metro 2033-235. It's because every book takes place 1 year after the other one, and that's the year it takes place, 2033, then 34, then 35. But they're great books because it's like, if you're a fan of apocalypse shit, you're gonna love it. Like, if you like Fallout or like Stalker or just like any generic like Mad Max shit, you'll love it. But also, if you like horror novels, you'd like the first one and maybe a bit of the third one. I haven't finished the third one yet. But you're gonna hate the second one though. I'm gonna promise you that. It's a good book series. The first one is fucking beautiful. I love it. Every time I feel like reading a book, I always read that one again, just because I love how it's all set up, especially how they do horror in that one, because it's vague enough to where you don't understand what it is exactly, but you get enough detail to know that it's not a good thing. And it's just interesting because, like, in the books, it takes place in Moscow, Russia, after humanity has like bombed themselves to oblivion, and they are now forced to live in the metro tunnels beneath the city. And you follow the story of Artyom, who is given a mission to help save his station from an unknowable threat. And you follow his journey through this environment, which is just, it's alien, but also familiar. Like, there's a lot of, like, the same, like, problems and shit like that you see in the real world. And there's also, like, some fucking weird shit going on. And it's, like, it's got so much cool, like, universe shit to it. Like, there's a whole, like, there's a part in there where there's a conductor talking about, like, what life was like before the bombs fell and shit. And, like, he's talking about, like, weird things happening in the metros even before then. And it just adds this level of, like, weird, creepy shit to it. And, no, it's just a fun read. Like, great universe that they built up, that Dmitry Glukhovsky made. The second one is utter garbage and I hate it, but you might think it's better. And the third one it's also pretty good, so far. I haven't finished it yet. I'm, like, 5 chapters in, but it's still, like, the same feel that the first one had. So if you're into, like, some really good apocalypse shit and ghost stories, get Metro. There's also games. I recommend the games, but for the last game, you need to read all 3 books to understand what's going on. Kind of. It's confusing.
Well, it better be a good series if I have to do homework going into one of the installments.
Yeah, okay, this is how Metro the games work. The first game is based off of the first book. The sequel is a sequel to the game and has nothing to do with the first book. The third book takes ideas from the game, but is mostly just a sequel to the first book. And then the video game is a sequel to both the video game and the last book. I don't understand.
Yeah, that just seems unnecessarily convoluted.
It's a little bit. But as long as you don't read the second book, you're fine. But that's a lie. You do need to read the second one because there's a character that shows up in the third book, who's the main character of the first book of the second book. But if you read the second book, I'm just warning you, I hated it. Like, it's still, like, Metro, and I love the universe and stuff, but the sequel does a lot of really dumb shit that I just really hate. Like there's one thing that was great about the first book is when, like, ever, like, a supernatural encounter happens, they don't, like, really bring it too much to the light. Like, it's not this, like, thing that's easily explainable. In the second book, they just fucking write off one of them. It's like, oh yeah, this is what it was the whole time. It's like, fuck you, why would you do that? It's like, don't make this cool, like, fucking, like, horror setting and then just go on and be like, oh yeah, this is a thing that they think is going on, but really it was this. It's like the characters don't even figure it out. You just tell us what it was. It's like, no, that's terrible. I hate it. But people will probably like it more than I did, but nah, I loved the first book. It's such a great book.
All right, yeah, I'll have a link to the I'll have a link to the guy's page on Amazon, the guy the author that wrote the books. And
yeah.
I'll get a Steam link or a link to the Steam store page for the games.
Yeah, I think Exodus the last game, I think that might only be on Epic though. It might be on Steam now.
Okay, I'll have a link to whatever platform it's on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the show.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to another episode of Bold of You to Say. If this is your first time here, thanks for checking us out. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode if you like what we do here. Also, check out our merch page on TeePublic. We got one design so far, Muscle Rock. Treat yourself to a Muscle Rock shirt. If you can't afford that, or if you don't want to drop $20 on a shirt, I totally understand. Get yourself a Muscle Rock button or a sticker. That's a great way to support the show. And you know, rep a cool design.
I made it, but please put it on the fridge.
Yeah, get a Muscle Rocks fridge magnet. Put it on the fridge. But yeah, share the show with a friend, tweet out our episodes, tweet out our clips. Our clips channel will be in the description. Yeah, that's another great way to help us out. Also, leave a comment if you're listening on YouTube. Tell us what you thought. If we were wrong about something, tell us about it. If you have any suggestions for movies that you want us to cover or any topics you want us to discuss, comment that or tweet at us, DM us on Twitter, leave us a review on Podchaser. That's another great way to help us out. That helps us out in the algorithm or something. I imagine it does something.
It's this magical element that we
gives
don't
us
understand.
it gives us an ego boost. Leave us
It's the
preferably a
fucking
positive
tea.
review on
Alex,
Podchaser.
it's the tea. It's the tea from Big Trouble in Little China. You have to drink it before you go into the underground.
Yes. But yeah, follow us on social media, follow us on Twitter, see what kind of stuff we would tweet. Follow me on TikTok, friend Jared on Steam and or Xbox.
Hell yeah.
And just subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode. Turn on notifications, turn on automatic downloads. And thanks for watching. Good 9 a.m. through 9 p.m.
Remember, if you don't do the things we've asked you to do, I will go to your house and I will eat your underwear.
Now, Jared, I know you're familiar with the snow miser and the heat miser, right? Now, let me pull up the exact lyrics so I can illustrate the point that I'm going to make.
Oh, what is this?
All right, so heat miser. They call me heat miser. Whatever I touch starts to melt in my clutch. He is too much. Now, that's fairly normal, right?
Okay.
He has the power over heat, so it makes sense that, stuff that he would touch melts.
I think I know where you're going with this.
The snow miser. Friends call me snow miser. Whatever I touch turns to snow in my clutch. I'm too much. Now, Jared.
Yeah.
This didn't jump out to me until just recently. But the snow miser, he holds things that aren't snow.
Yeah.
And then he turns them into things that are snow.
Yeah.
This man has power over subatomic structures. He has a level of power that he's either not trained enough or too afraid to tap into. And I think we're all better off with that he doesn't tap into that power.
That's the
He
thing.
has the power. He can bring the universe to its knees.
You know the part in that Spider-Man comic where he confronts the pterodactyl guy and he's like, you have the power to cure cancer. Why are you turning people into dinosaurs? And his response is, I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs. That's it.
I don't
he knows
want
what he's got.
I don't
He
want to
knows
enslave
what
the
power
universe.
he
I just
has.
want to make snow.
He's like, I could do anything with this. Fuck it, I'll just turn everything I touch into snow. I'm Snow Miser. What else am I gonna do?
Yeah. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Ba-dum.